Hey everybody, Alex here, out of the Park 23 Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. We are about to start the 2023 MLB season, but before we do that, I wanted to recap what happened during the offseason. I know I mentioned in the last video there was going to be a lot of significant changes to this team from 2022 to 2023, and there are certainly some changes, but probably less movement here than I anticipated. Just the problems of being a small market kind of team, but still some notable things to discuss. And so let's talk about that right now. And I'm just going to run through the transaction log here in chronological order. Again, there's a couple things to note, but nothing radical compared to last year to this year. We did pick up the option on Daniel Vogelbach, and although we voided the option for this relief pitcher, he's still under contract. Not really sure what happened there, but it's a cheap deal. Cleaned them off waivers, and so that's fine there. One of the trades we made a couple trades this offseason, and this one was actually proposed to me by Arizona. I did not seek this out, but Greg Allen, who was an outfielder for us last year, playing basically all three outfield spots, is now a Diamondback. Wasn't too mad to give him up. We have some guys in the system that are going to be corner outfielders for us, and Allen's overall numbers weren't the best at center field. Travis Swaggerty's numbers are better to play in center. Allen hit 245 for the Pirates last year, 75 WRC plus. Walk rate was low. Nothing really that special with this game. And so what we're getting back in return is Seth Beer, who I know was amazing in some past iterations of Out of the Park. I believe Out of the Park 19, he would always turn it into an all-star. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but still somebody that could be useful for us. Probably going to be a first baseman DH. He's listed in the outfield right now. That's not going to probably be anywhere he plays much, if at all, but was very good for Arizona last year. 101 starts, hit 279, two WAR player, 129 WRC plus, and 14 home runs, 123 OPS plus. And so, like those numbers overall, going to give us some good power to be that first baseman DH. And so I thought, in terms of an upgrade, it was one over an outfielder we didn't really need in Greg Allen. Did make some coaching and personnel changes as well. Some stuff in the minor leagues, upgraded some of the pitching coaches, but in terms of the major league roster, certainly fired our hitting coach, Andy Haynes, who was just miserable. Pittsburgh hitting, I think they hit 223. We'll see the number actually in a second, but really just struggled at the plate. And so that was a no brainer to me. And bringing in Jose Flores as the hitting coach here, legendary teach hitting, and good with development. And so I'm happy with that. Relationships look pretty good for the hitters here. And so hopefully that'll give us some better results. And also swapped out the team trainer as well. I don't love the poor prevent leg injuries. You want to find someone a bit better, especially with the decent rehab arm injuries. But the prevention is where I'm focused at. And of course, the big one, preventing arm injuries, the number one thing you want to look for in a trainer. And so our trainer last year actually did a pretty good job, but figured I wanted to do an upgrade there. Didn't go to arbitration with anybody. There were a couple guys we did not bring back. Michael Perez, Ben Gamel, I believe, or at least he was DFA'd. But a lot of guys we did end up bringing back. We did not bring back reliever Dylan Peters. Big news here is signing Brian Reynolds to a 5-year extension worth over $83 million. There is a player opt-out following the 2026 season before the last year of his deal. You see the structure of it here. We had team control over him through this year, and I believe next year it would have been, but I wanted to get 2 years of free agency, and there is that player opt-out as well. There's some incentives included in the deal as well, but really excited to get him locked up long term. It was the first offer I proposed, and he accepted it, so I'm really happy about that. Brought back catcher Roberto Perez on a 2-year deal worth $3.5 million, $2 million this year, $1.5 million next year. I wanted to do 1 year. He wouldn't take it. I know the numbers don't look great. Actually, they're frankly terrible. 169, average, 42 WRC plus, but just a great catcher ability, and the captain trait that he has is going to be good. So I envision him as either splitting time or being a backup catcher this year. and so I wanted to retain him. The contract is cheap, and so I think overall it's worth it. Moving on into December and the start really of free agency. Another trade we made though, trading G1 Bay to San Francisco. Just didn't see a defining trade for him. The bat was average across the board. He's not going to be really an infielder. Second base will be the only place he could reasonably play, and we're pretty logjam there with Otto Lopez and Marcano and Kevin Newman and Nick Gonzalez and the minor leagues right now. So could be a decent left fielder, but I just didn't see anything too exciting overall in Bay's game. Hit very much an average player last year in AAA. Indianapolis also sent here just a random relief pitcher the Giants wanted in order to get Brett Auerbach. And this is a really interesting guy. I don't know exactly where he fits. He's probably going to be a corner outfielder slash first baseman. Can play some catcher and really anywhere in the infield besides shortstop. But really good speed and stealing ability. I like the bat overall. Good personality and did well last year in AAA. I believe that's going to be Sacramento with a 110 WRC plus, 325 on base percentage, 22 home runs. I don't know if that's the air out there that kind of inflated some of those numbers. And again, I don't know exactly where this guy's going to fit, but with Bay, I just did shop a player and saw, what all came up and just took the best guy that was offered, and that was Auerbach. Just some housekeeping when it comes to the 40-man roster prior to the Rule 5 draft. A couple of guys there, Lolo Sanchez, who's going to really be an interesting player. He's going to be on the big league roster, or at least invited to spring training, and should be a big leaguer to start opening day this year. Was excellent last year in the minor leagues, probably a minor league overall MVP, both in AA and in AAA. Sample size is a bit small in AAA, but this guy was just crushing it, and so I'm excited to see him out there. He'll probably play right field for us this year with Swaggerty in center and Brian Reynolds in left. Also, we did add, by the way, one of our first ads here was a man by the name of Phoenix Sanders, which is just a grade A baseball or just name in general. He's yet to pitch in the majors, and so there's a little bit of a risk there, but 2.47 ERA last year. Good numbers across the board. 4+ pitches overall, especially the slider changeup combination. Contractually, it's a $1.7 million deal. If he gets put on the active roster. If not, he can opt for free agency, so it's a minor league contract with that major league option and the free agency opt-out clause in there, so he'll be in the mix in the rotation, and we'll see how he looks in spring training. A couple of guys here DFA'd, no one too notable. Taylor Davis, cup of coffee last year. Blake Cederlin throws gas, but he's a one-pitch pitcher, so I don't think he's ever going to become anything. And then Aaron Fletcher, got some very meager time early in the year last year with Pittsburgh, but he's back down on a minor league deal in Indianapolis. I think it's a minor league deal. No, I guess it is still a major league contract, but just DFA'd. But regardless, someone that probably won't make an appearance in the pen this year. Speaking of the Rule 5 draft, we did select one player, and I'm going with a catcher here, and Ivan Herrera, who's regarded as a top 100 prospect. So you kind of wonder why he wasn't protected. He's coming over from St. Louis, so you steal from the opponent a little bit. I don't know if the overall numbers suggest top 100 type play, but for a catcher, the batting profile is nice and decent ratings overall. He was really poor in AAA last year, so maybe that's one reason why he was not put onto the 40-man roster of St. Louis, and St. Louis is rebuilding, and they were making a ton of trades, so I don't know what was going on over there. But basically the way I'm going to frame this is we're going to have in camp, in spring training, Perez, Herrera, and a third free agent I'll mention here in a moment to kind of compete for 2 spots, and we'll see what happens from there. Another trade we made in early January, saying goodbye and farewell to Cole Tucker, who just never panned out as a former first-round pick of the Pirates. He came up last year, hit a $111. I mean, I just have not seen anything to suggest he can even touch some of these numbers that on paper look okay, being a 50 overall player. He's versatile. He's got a good arm. He could be a decent third baseman, I suppose, but I just don't see the production ever matching the numbers here. And so again, with a lot of other infield options on this team, though we're a little weak at backup third base behind Key Brian Hayes, I just wanted to move on from him. And so what we got in return was not some sort of incredible haul, but we're getting back reliever closer Andrew Schultz, who has really good stuff. Movement combination, the control is pretty pitiful, but fastball, curveball are both excellent. He has not pitched much, and so it's a kind of a flyer. He's pitched 5 innings last year and didn't pitch again or previously until 2019. So I don't know what the career arc thing's going on here with Andrew Schultz, but we'll see what he can do. Power pitcher, it's going to fit into our system. This guy's going to get a bunch of strikeouts. The control is never going to be even serviceable, but maybe this guy makes a jump here with some good coaching, and we'll see what happens from there. So not a trade where you can sit there and say that, wow, we won this one, but that's baseball. It's going to be a little give and take, and take some risks, and you win some, you lose some, and we'll see what happens. The big quote-unquote free agency splash we made was signing shortstop Andrelton Simmons to a 1-year deal worth $3.5 million to be that grade A defensive shortstop for us. We really lacked last year, and so the bat's going to be average to really below average. He won't strike out a lot. That might keep that average up a little bit. He hit .230 with the Cubs last year, 1.4 WAR player, but he's really here for his glove. I'm not expecting a lot of offense. If he can just even remotely hit those numbers, I will overall take it. It's all about the glove with him. He had a 15.4 zone rating last year in 147 starts at shortstop. So that's why he's on the team right now, is to be that really good defensive piece for us. And when I saw him out there, I knew he was going to hit free agency. He was my number one target. And so really from there, aside from Simmons, we haven't signed any marquee free agents. We are targeting, I mentioned, that third piece of the catcher battle. Tucker Barnhart has an offer on the table. He's had an offer for weeks now, apparently, and out of the park this year. Guys take a long time to respond to contract offers. Also, contract demands don't go down. The way that it was when I last played it in 21 was, the starter free agency numbers would be really high, and they'd gradually go down as time went along. I'm not really seeing that this year. There's a fluctuation. Sometimes numbers go up, their demands go up, which is strange with not even being offered other contracts that are creating a market. So not really sure how to take the offseason approach this year, but all that aside, Tucker Barnhart, again, good catcher ability, going to be a leader in the clubhouse. The bat, I know, does not look good overall. He had only a $195, really fell off from 2021 to 2022 in terms of his offensive production, but as a catcher, 8.8 framing, throughout 30% of his runners. Overall, I think those are good numbers. 3.6 zone rating a catcher. That's going to help out our pitching staff and make sure those guys aren't falling off in year number 2. So it'll be Barnhart versus Perez versus Herrera. Hopefully 2 guys getting a spot there. Perez, I think, will be one, being the incumbent, and just even if he's the backup, it's really going to be probably more what can Herrera do versus Barnhart, and we're going to see what happens in the spring. I've also sent a minor league contract offer to Josh Lindblom, who was a former Pirate about 5-6 years ago. This has a option for the major leagues as well. I think it's $1.5 million if he gets promoted, or if he does not get promoted after 30 days, then he can opt out. Obviously a veteran, very much towards the end of his career. Numbers aren't that great. I don't love the below average movement and extreme fly ball combination, but this guy throws 6 pitches, and that's a pretty important thing out of the park. The more pitches you throw, the more effective you can be, even if your overall numbers are not that great. He's got good work ethic and spark plug, and last year for Milwaukee had a 3.6 ERA, 110 ERA plus. The BABIP was pretty generous to him, so those numbers are probably a bit skewed. Pretty high home runs over 9, number at 1.8, but he'll be in the minor league system and can be a call-up in case there's an injury. So overall, you just look at their offseason summary from the MLB transactions page. Again, there isn't really a whole lot we're doing. I know that's a little disappointing. I thought I'd be more active personally. We were looking at some guys that, like, Manuel Margot. He signed with the Reds, just wanted too much, and just didn't make a lot of sense for me to sign. But in terms of new faces to the lineup, there should be some new catcher blood. You're going to have Seth Beer in there. Obviously Simmons at shortstop, and I hate this game resets every single time. It's done this in every version. I thought they would kind of change that as a quality of life feature, and as soon as I click back, now it's going to reset again. So that's where we're at right now. I don't think we lost any significant pieces. We re-signed Brian Reynolds long term. That was certainly the storyline of the offseason of the winter. And so I'm happy with where this team is at. I think, just some guys getting more time, more experience, some prospects coming up. By the way, I should mention, and hopefully this still rings true. If I go to minor league system rankings, we have the #1 minor league system, the best farm system in all of baseball, which is pretty cool. We have that international complex prospect, Tony. We'll figure out his last name when you call him up. Third baseman there. Still looking good. Obviously, he is a long ways away and really shouldn't. I don't think any of these guys who are 16 should be appearing on top 100 lists, but that's how the game goes. Our pitcher here, he got healthy. He had a bone chip injury, and sometimes those numbers tank, and he did not, so that's good to see. He should be up this year probably. Same with Quinn Priester. I don't know if he'll be up. He's still got a bit of a ways to go, but did well in AAA last year, so he could be up. There's some good pitching hope, and so same with Kumar Rocker, who his potential has fallen 65 to 55, and so that's a little disappointing, but the numbers overall look the same, and so I think this guy is going to certainly make an impact at some point this year in the major leagues. And then Bubba Chandler as well. Who was he? Where was he? He was drafted for a second, third round pick in real life by the Pirates, I think, a year or two ago. He's got quite a bit of development there. I'm not really sure he's a top 70 prospect, but we'll take it overall. So it's really pitching that's bolstering our system. But we're going to be a pitching defense team. That's kind of how a smaller market, I think, has to win. So that is one exciting part, the Pirates having the best farm system in the MLB. Just to look at what some of the other teams did and where the big names went, I'm trying to think what's the best way to do that. The Angels had the best WAR gain. Let's see who they added. I know they had one big name in particular as I scrolled past them. Yeah, they got Carlos Correa. So the Angels with Trout and Ohtani now get Correa on a pretty massive deal. 7 years, $256 million. So he comes over from Minnesota last year, where he didn't have an amazing season, but really good defender, just one of the best all-around players in baseball. The Cubs were pretty active, so we'll look at them here briefly. They got Jacob deGrom, so we're going to have to face him, which is unfortunate. He was injured, but lights out for the Mets last year, a sub-2 ERA there. Like I said, St. Louis totally redid their team. They traded away Jordan Hicks and all their relievers, and Tommy Edman is gone as well. So take a quick look at them. Edman, Hicks, Reyes, Martin, Flaherty's gone. They did add some guys. Aaron Nola's part of that rotation now. Zanino with catch, who's got a lot of pop and is a really good defender. What did Zanino get? Pretty big contract. So he's a weird guy. 43 home runs, a .194 average, but I mean it's worked for him overall. So pretty active NL Central this offseason. But for the Pirates, we're gonna keep it quiet overall, make a couple of ads, and see how things look for opening day. So I think what we'll do now is I'll take a pause here, and we'll come back and we'll go ahead and look at the spring training recap, the overall roster, and we'll play opening day as well. And we are at opening day of the 2023 MLB season. Let me take you guys through what happened during spring training and the rest of free agency. I don't believe I had shown that Tucker Barnhart had officially signed. I'm recording this portion a couple days after the last portion, the bulk of free agency. So Barnhart joined the team as a catcher, had a 3-man competition at catcher. For now, I'm actually keeping all 3 guys, Roberto Perez, Ivan Herrera, and Barnhart, kind of playing with the roster spots in terms of the pitching staff a little bit, just to give myself some time to see what I want to do, because I could not figure out which one of the 3 catchers I should be getting rid of. So I'm going to kind of delay that process there. See, the lineup here looks pretty different than last year. We've had some injuries. Let's actually talk about the injuries here first, because there have been some unfortunate ones. Zach Thompson is declining after tearing his labrum last year, so that, he'll be back at some point this year in about 6 weeks or so. But I don't know how useful he's going to be. Otto Lopez, I was really counting and expecting on him to be our starting second baseman this year. He suffered a concussion in spring training, a collision running the bases, and so he won't be back until much later this year, which was really unfortunate. Had a lot of infield injuries this spring. Also, an injury to Bryce Wilson. He was missing about 5 weeks with a strained shoulder. He'll be back probably by the end of April, I would say, in terms of completing his rehab assignment, because he only pitched a third of an inning in the entire spring training, so he's got to knock off a lot of rust and get his body right. But that one could have been a lot worse. I ended up calling up Michael Burrows in part to replace him, a promising prospect, and he now has an arthritic elbow, and it's going to miss 3 months, and you wonder how much and how well that arm will hold up in the future. So that's really unfortunate there. Kevin Newman also got hurt in the spring with a shoulder injury, and so I was really trying to find some middle infield help and stumbled across Wilfredo Tovar, kind of a journeyman, has not spent a lot of time in the majors, played an independent ball last year, and he is going to be our starting second baseman today. There's going to be a pretty heavy rotation with guys like Diego Castillo in the mix as well. He had a really hot spring, was over 400 in terms of his batting average for a while, finished out at 385. But Tovar is going to come out of nowhere there to be part of this lineup. So that's definitely a surprise, to say the least. Trying to get some more positional flexibility on my team. Castillo is going to get some more reps in right field. He concentrated on that quite a bit this spring. Some other names to note here: Lolo Sanchez, who's been really hot for me in the minors. He's going to finally make it and stick on the major league roster, or at least I hope he stays there. But he was very good this spring as well, and really tore up both AA and AAA last year. So doesn't have a ton of experience at those levels, but he moved up as quick as you possibly can. O'Neal Cruz, I don't know what he's going to turn into. He's no longer a top 100 prospect, but I think he could be almost a super utility guy with the arm, the athleticism that he has as a pinch runner, and kind of work different positions. So backup third baseman, you can play first base, DH, you can play in the outfield, primarily right field. Right now he's a defensive sub there, so that might be the path for him. He was out of options, so I wanted to keep him because I figured I'd probably lose him to a waiver claim, and I want to give this guy one more chance to show he can play in the majors. So you guys see the lineups here. Do want to mention we have a contract offer out to Ke'Bryan Hayes. Hopefully he accepts. It's pending right now. Maybe I'll play a couple more days after opening day and see if he accepts or not. If he does, we may show that. If not, we'll find out his answer in the next video. Looking at the pitching staff, just going with a 4-man starting rotation again, allowing myself the ability to carry 3 catchers for now. JT Brubaker was going to get the opening day nod here after having a great year last year. 2.91 ERA plus of 138. He was fantastic. The veteran, almost 30 years old, so he's going to be the guy today. The bullpen, as a consequence of keeping some extra bats, is one less arm than I would like. I wanted to keep 8, only able to keep 7. And so you see the names there. Matt Kranick is going to be the long relief guy. Got a couple lefties. Baroki's going to be our lefty specialist. He's very good against lefties overall and did pretty well for us last year. And so we'll see how this group looks. Last thing, in terms of preseason predictions, you guys can see how the Major League standings are expected to go this year. Toronto taking the East, Kansas City in the Central, and the Angels out west, with some notable names and pretty common names in terms of top hitters, top pitchers: Mike Trout, Vlad, Bo Bichette, Garrett Cole, etc., etc. In the NL, the Braves over the Phillies in the East. The Cardinals at 82-80, projecting again another weak NL Central performance this year. Pittsburgh at 68-94. Hopefully we'll do better than that. And of course the Dodgers, first place here in the West. Really a question of will they hit 100 wins, currently projected to achieve 96, and no Pirates making the list here. Thought maybe you'd see Brian Reynolds show up on the hitter side of things, but he does not. Alright, about to start opening day in St. Louis at Busch Stadium. You guys see our lineups here. It's Castillo, Hayes, Reynolds, Vogelbach, Martin, Andrelton Simmons, Tovar, Swaggerty, and Perez. Quick note on Martin: 70 home run power. So he's going to be an Adam Dunn type of guy with a lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts, kind of Joey Gallo-esque. But I think the rewards there are going to be worth it for our lineup. For the Cardinals, Bader, Conforto, Carlson, O'Neill, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Sosa, DeYoung, I think it's DeYoung, and Zunino, the newly signed catcher coming over from Tampa Bay this offseason. Aaron Nola on the hill. Cardinals really still some common names in place, but a very active offseason for them, including signing Aaron Nola to a almost $74 million deal. So let's go out to St. Louis for opening day of 2023. And welcome to Busch Stadium for the 2023 Cardinals home opener. Hopefully everything sounds okay. Hopefully there's audio this time instead of just my voice and the music. I think I corrected the issue, and hopefully things sound not too loud and not too soft. I'll continue to figure it out as we go along, but let's start things off here with Diego Castillo in right field today, and leading things off for your Pittsburgh Pirates facing Aaron Nola. 42 degrees it said, so pretty chilly, as Castillo is going to pop up and out into foul territory. Ke'Bryan Hayes, will he get a long-term extension with the team? We'll see, as he will ground out to second. And Brian Reynolds, the all-star from last year, 1-2 count. He will swing through it, and so Nola makes quick work of the Pirates. JT Brubaker trying to continue the fantastic season he had a year ago, sub-3 ERA. We did get a new pitching coach. I forgot to mention this as well. Fired Oscar Marine, actually during spring training, found someone else I wanted instead. As Brubaker gets the out there, throw a little bit high, but when you have Mason Martin at first, pretty tall individual, that helps. Perez behind the dish today in that three-way battle at catcher, as Brubaker strikes out Conforto, now falls behind Carlson, who will take the 4-pitch walk. Tyler O'Neill, 1-2 count. That one hit the center, and Swaggerty, nice sliding catch. He's out there for the glove. The bat is not great, and he's hurt and can stay in. So all's well that ends well. As a couple of really good defensive center fielders today with Bader and Swaggerty. Vogelbach check swing. They're going to ring him up there, as Nola doing well through the first 4 batters. 2-2 to Martin, and he will follow Vogelbach there with the check swing strikeout. Andrelton Simmons, our quote-unquote big free agent's going to go out to left. That one going back. Thought it had a chance over his head, over the left fielder's head. Simmons taking second. It's a bit of a quirky play there. Tyler O'Neill looked like he was pretty shallow and to his left, and that one over his head. And so Simmons here for the glove aspect of playing shortstop, but has a double in our first hit of the year, as Tovar in his first at bat as a Pirate grounds out to third, and so can't do anything with the 2-out Simmons double. Goldschmidt, Arenado, and Sosa due up in the bottom half of the second for St. Louis. Goldschmidt always a thorn in the Pirates' side, but not here. Simmons, his first defensive play, signed to a 1-year, $3.5 million contract. Do need to look for a shortstop for the future. I'm not sure who that guy's going to be. Brubaker, his second walk of the day, this time to Arenado to face Edmundo Sosa. He's out there in second, and back-to-back walks for Brubaker. His control typically not a big issue. Had a little bit of a concern there this spring. It's his third walk of the day. That one grounded a short, chance to turn 2, and the Pirates do. And defense is going to be the Pirates' mantra this year, as that was a great double play. Turn Simmons to Castillo. Who's at second? Nope. To Tovar, I should say. It was Simmons to Tovar to Martin. And that turns a double play. Getting used to some of the new names. This lineup certainly looks a lot different than a year ago. As Travis Swaggerty will hit one pretty well to center. Bader giving chase, and he camps under it for out number 1. Roberto Perez, the veteran, the captain of the Pirates, 1-2 count. That one hit softly to second, and that Sosa has it to Goldie. Good start for Aaron Nola, just one hit allowed. first time through the lineup, as he will strike out and sit down Diego Castillo. Mike Zunino, power hitting catcher. 1-1 count. And he will show a bit of that power there, and that one actually a bit more shallow than I thought, as Castillo makes the catch. Top of the order, Harrison Bader. 1-2 count. And Brubaker to third, deep in the hole. Hayes has it, and a strong throw to first to Mason Martin for the second out. Conforto 2-2 count. Brubaker deals that one inside, and Conforto chases a bit on the changeup. So a defensive start here as we're scoreless. Going top four, just one hit so far. That is the Pirates' Simmons, although Brubaker's issued 3 walks today. Ke'Bryan Hayes will hit that well to left, and O'Neill, that ball drops at his feet, so a leadoff single. Ke'Bryan Hayes. Bring up Brian Reynolds on that new contract as he will get his money earned. No, he will not. I think I butchered that saying a little bit. I was trying to say earning that money. Regardless, allowed out to Carlson as Vogelbach, potential trade candidate. I could see him. He's got a big arbitration number this year. There's no way that they turn 2 there. Get the tag. Okay, he's safe. Good. He should be safe there. Mason Martin, a really true outcome type of player this year. And that's 2 strikeouts and 2 at-bats this year. Going to have those days, unfortunately, as we go bottom 4. Brubaker to Carlson. That one skips past Tovar at second. And St. Louis has their first hit of the day, their 4th base runner overall. O'Neill to short. Simmons has it, and a quick turn. And again, like I said earlier, defense is going to be our strength of this team. Simmons out there, really good range and a good shortstop rating. Same with Swaggerty in center. Hayes at third. Try to get our bats elsewhere. As Goldschmidt will fly out as Tovar goes out in the outfield grass, make the catch. So we'll go top 5, still scoreless on this young 2023 season. Simmons with a double today, and add a single to that on the 3-1 count. So Simmons showing the bat here to start things off. Tovar trying to get his first hit. Was with the Mets a little bit last year. This is going to be 2. No, just 1. As Simmons, the veteran, slide. Maybe Sosa got hurt there. Looks like maybe Simmons slid into him. And Sosa's got to come out of the game. And so is Waldo Cabrera entering for St. Louis. Seems to be a pretty competent second baseman. So 1 on, 1 out for Travis Swaggerty, the 8th man, bottom of the order. Swaggerty to left. O'Neill, nice diving catch to grab it. And so it's up to Roberto Perez. Nola deals and strikes him out. Goes down swinging. He remains scoreless. Facing Arenado. Hitting a bit lower in the lineup than I thought he might. That one, can of corn for Travis Swaggerty. 1 out here, bottom 5, still scoreless. Pirates have 3 hits today. And Cabrera entering the game works an easy 4-pitch walk, the 4th issued by Brubaker. That's a little unusual. Now he falls behind DeYoung, and that one's going to get through on the 3-1 count. And Cabrera's going to go to third. So St. Louis will threaten here in the bottom of the 5th, facing Zunino, the bottom of the order. Can Brubaker get out of it? 1-0, and that one hit well to center. Swaggerty has it to throw home, and that is going to be... Is that in time? No, he's safe. The animation got a little weird there. Wasn't sure what that ball was doing. And so St. Louis will strike first on the Zunino sac fly. Bader comes up now, and he's going to maybe add to this lead. No, as that one, nice snag by Castillo. Still trying to read the ball off the bat a little bit with these new animations, kind of flew through last season as Castillo puts a charge into that one, and Bader, that one looked like it should have been a hit as Bader takes it away. One of the best defensive center fielders in baseball. Did he win a Gold Glove last year? It looks like he probably did. I don't see, where's that at? In 2021 he did. So anyway, Ke'Bryan Hayes trying to tie this one up behind the count 1-2. That one roped down the third base line deep in the hole. And a nice play by Arenado, also known for his defense. Brian Reynolds That one hit well past the diving Goldschmidt. So a 2-out single. As Vogelbach will enter the game 0 for 2 today. Full count, payoff pitch. That went outside. Vogelbach, usually a good eye. It's like he chased it. And that's an easy grab for Tyler O'Neill. Going bottom 6, 1-0 St. Louis. As on opening day, you may think about the bullpen here. Gonna get Kevin Quackenbush going as Brubaker faces Conforto. And that's going to be a fly out to left. Reynolds under it and makes the catch. Dylan Carlson, 1 for 1 with, I think, at least one walk today, as he will add a second. No, not a second hit there. The shift was on. Nice job by bench coach Don Kelly. To play Carlson. 2 out, nobody on. Cardinals leading 1-0. Just 6 hits combined between the Pirates and St. Louis. Simmons active inning. So overall, a good start for Brubaker, as Cody Whiteley will come in the game. Not do that well last year for St. Louis. JT Brubaker, 78 pitches. That might be it for him here on opening day. You don't want that pitch count to go up too high after trying to maintain those arms during spring training. We'll see what happens. Mason Martin, 2 strikeouts today. Could use something better than that, as he will make contact this time. So getting somewhere, but same result as the other 2 at-bats and out. Simmons, good day for him, 2 for 2, but behind the count 0-2, and he will look at strike 3 on the slider at 87 miles an hour. And Tovar will come in, 1-0 count. And that one hit in Bader territory, and that one drops. So Tovar digging for 2, and he's going to be in there with what I think they'll call a double. So Bader had some trouble getting that one into his glove. And so, yeah, Wilfredo Tovar, take a quick pause here on him. Last played in the majors in 2021, just 12 plate appearances. Last, start came in 2019. Hit 193 with the Angels. So this guy's sticking around. Should I keep Swaggerty in, is the question. The bat, I think I'll keep him in. I might sub out Perez if it comes to that, if Swaggerty can do something here. And it's a balk. They're going to call a balk on Cody Whiteley. Not super consequential. Tovar already in scoring position, but we'll take it. And so Swaggerty, 3-1 count, and he's going to draw the walk, and I think this is going to be the time for a change. Perez has some power, but you have 3 catchers. You might as well be a little creative here. So we got some bench options here. Seth Beer, O'Neill Cruz, but I think we're going to turn to Lolo Sanchez. And his first Major League at-bat. Remember, this time last year, Diego Castillo came off the bench for a pinch hit grand slam. Not quite the opportunity here, but I'll take a 3-run home run either way. So Sanchez facing Whiteley. 1-1 count, and that one hit sharply to third. And they're going to get the out at second, so no Castillo part 2. And Sanchez's first career at bat. I'm a little nervous here, but we're going to bring in Kevin Quackenbush. The low movement here that he has is a little worrying against some of the power bats. We're going to trust the veteran here, as JT Brubaker goes 6 strong innings for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 1-2. As nice job off speed, it looks like, to strike out Goldschmidt. Arenado steps in. He's behind 0-2. That one hit in the hole, and Simmons, quick play. Martin cannot make the play. His defense is not great. I'm going to say it's a bad throw, actually, so the error appears to be going on Simmons, which is even more uncharacteristic, and that one could be costly. Now facing Cabrera, who came in for the injured Sosa, as he will look at strike 3 as Quackenbush tries to work around the error. Paul DeYoung coming in. He's 1 for 2 on the day. And Quackenbush, error, does not hurt Pittsburgh. Nice job there for the veteran. Cleaned off of waivers last year. That's going to be it for him. 15 pitches. So we'll get Will Crow ready here for the bottom of the 8th. Castillo, Hayes, and Reynolds to face Whiteley. He will remain in the game after pitching top of the 7th. Castillo behind, but he's able to line out to Cabrera. Thought that one might have had a chance to get through. 3-1 to Hayes, and he will work the walk as Pittsburgh needing a run. Offense, such an issue last year, a really abysmal performance and showing overall. New hitting coach, couple new bats in the lineup, as Reynolds to right. That one will make out number 2. New pitcher coming in, Genesis Cabrera. There's a name for you. To face Daniel Vogelbach. 2 out, 1 on. That's Hayes at first. And Vogelbach hit weakly to Cabrera, who makes 2 of the 3 outs of the inning. We'll go bottom 8. Cardinals still lead 1-0. Will Crow will come in to relieve Quackenbush. To face Sanino, the catcher, in this post Yachty Molina world. Full count payoff pitch. That one hit to Simmons. Won't have an error here as Martin snags it at first. Martin's defense not the best, but better than Vogie, and so we'll keep him there as that one hit to center left. And Swaggerty makes the catch. Not sure who the Cardinals have in terms of their closer. Jordan Hicks was in the rotation and has been traded. And will they add insurance? Conforto to right? No, they will not. Castillo makes the catch. Couple feet in front of the track. Pirates trying to avoid the loss and the shutout today. And it'll be Ryan Helsley as we are top 9. Cardinals leading 1-0 to face Martin, Simmons, and Tovar. And likely going to be at least one substitution, probably for Tovar at the least. Mason Martin, a lot of power in that bat. As Helsley, though, a very good pitcher with a 4.72 ERA last year. 2 starts for St. Louis, a chance to get the save. Martin hitless today, 2-0 count. That's a hitter's count. And that one hit weakly to second. Throw in the Goldie for out number 1. Simmons steps in, 2 for 3 today. Could use a big knock here, and that one hit up the middle. And Cabrera's been very active since coming in for Sosa. As Tovar, not going to be our man right now. I think we're going to try Seth Beer, his first at bat as a Pirate. Coming over in the Greg Allen deal this offseason around winter meetings time. To face Helsley, 0-1 count, shift is on, and Beer, that one hit into the outfield. And the Cardinals have it, and that is going to be opening day, an uneventful game, and the Cardinals win this one 1-0. Not the most exciting opening day action you've ever seen. Pirates had 5 hits, St. Louis just 2, but Pittsburgh loses this one 1-0 to the Cardinals. Take a quick look at the box score here. Not much to talk about, to be honest. Hayes, Reynolds, Simmons with 2 hits and an error in this one that was not really costly. Even Tovar got a hit. Only 2 hits from the day for St. Louis came from DeYoung and Carlson. They did have 4 walks in this one, struck out just 5 times. Coupled up double plays, the Pittsburgh turn. Brubaker was excellent, 6 innings, 1 earned. Did have 4 walks, but overall, you take that performance every single time. So real pitcher's duel across the board. And Sosa's injury, herniated disc, so he's going to be out a couple weeks there. So hopefully by the time we come back here, Pirates look to be in a bit better shape right now. We'll finish today, see if Ke'Bryan Hayes maybe makes a quick decision on a contract. I doubt it'll be this quick, but we'll see as we process through the first day of the season. Does not appear we'll get a decision on Hayes. Let me just check. Nope, nothing there, so I won't bore you guys with the rest of it. We'll come back. Probably going to do this around the trade deadline, right after the trade deadline, to try to move through the season. If something really important happens, we'll talk about that as well, but we'll recap where the team's at, the trade deadline, the draft, obviously, and anything else that comes along the way. So, appreciate you guys watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and we'll talk to you soon.